Hello, welcome to another video. This is nesting part 1. Unfortunately, my laptop died while I was uploading these clips. I did not realize, and the clips got corrupted, and I had already deleted them off of my SD card, so the first half of this video is missing. But I think the first half of this video is a lot of me rambling and giving you life updates, so I'm back in the future to give you life updates that I had given you previously, and then we will jump into the rest of the nesting. It's a little bit more of a sporadic nesting video because I think I did delete a lot of the actual nesting I wanted to show, but in nesting part 2, which is already filmed, it's a lot of that just like montages of me like folding clothes, putting things away, organizing, and nesting part 3 I will be filming this weekend. And then after that, I think nesting is only going to be 3 parts, because then after that I think we're done with all of the baby related fun nesting, and then it'll just be like little things like WD-40 the closet so it doesn't squeak. But anyway, I'm gonna give you guys a life update that I had given you in the beginning of the video that I deleted the clips for. I was 34 weeks when I filmed this video. I am now 36 weeks. I'm like, I don't know if that gave it any justice. I'm large, okay? And I'm gonna get into that. That is actually part of the update, is how big I am getting. I'm already much bigger than I was when I had my older daughter. So I'm 36 weeks and 3 days and I'm over it. So anyway, let's get into that. I think the last video that I uploaded was us buying our car. So we bought a 2022 Kia Telluride used with pretty good mileage on it. We have had it for, wow, only like this Saturday it'll be 3 weeks. So far so good. So hopefully it stays that way, but yeah, so far so good. We've been loving it. We've been keeping it clean. We are installing the infant car seat this weekend. Obviously my daughter's car seat's already installed, which by the way, if you're new, hi, I'm Tori. I have a 20-month-old upstairs napping, and I'm a work from home mom, which means that I work full time and take care of my daughter full time. And I'm, like I said, 36 weeks and 3 days pregnant with my second daughter. So I will have 2 baby girls. But anyway, yes, the last thing you guys saw was us buying the car. Things have been great, good with that. And since then, we had a little bit of a whirlwind that following week. We bought the car on Saturday the 27th, I believe, of December. And then on Monday, I had an OB appointment, my 34-week OB appointment. I was 34 weeks exactly. That appointment is usually one of the boring ones. You go in, they take your blood pressure, they weigh you, listen to the baby's heartbeat, measure your stomach, you leave a sample, and then you're out. So it's really like a quick one. If you have any questions, you ask your questions, whatever. The appointment itself was 2 minutes long. And then he was like, oh, we forgot to listen to the baby's heartbeat. Like he was literally about to leave. And I was like, oh yeah, like hi. And he was like, that's the best part of the whole thing. So I laid down. He took the Doppler and was trying to find the heartbeat. And mind you, the baby is moving inside of me. I know she's okay. Like I feel her moving, I feel her kicking. But he was having trouble finding the heartbeat, which I'm not a medical professional. I don't know how true this is, but from what I've read on Reddit, sometimes the placenta, if you have an anterior placenta, sometimes it can get in the way of getting like a good reading of the heartbeat. Don't know how true that is, okay? But that's what I've heard. So we kept having to like move it around to find it. And I wasn't worried, like I said, because I had felt her moving, like literally while he was doing that, she was kicking the Doppler. And so finally he got a heartbeat, but it was only measuring at 108, which if you know anything about babies, the lowest part of normal is 110. That being said, this whole pregnancy, her heartbeat has stayed between 140 and like 160. So 110 is low, but it was 108. And he was like, so I'm a little concerned. So we're going to send you into labor and delivery. I'm freaking out. I go to labor and delivery. I have to go by myself because my husband is home with my daughter. He doesn't come with me to any of my appointments because he has to be home with our oldest daughter because she can't come to any of the appointments. So I go to these appointments by myself. That's what happens after your first pregnancy. Someone's got to stay with the kids. I've gone to every appointment since my 20-week anatomy scan by myself, which stinks for Zach because he hasn't seen the baby since 20 weeks. And every time I get an ultrasound, he's like, oh, I wish I could see her. I wish I could be there. But kids are not allowed. And honestly, at these appointments, and honestly, I wouldn't want to take Addie. So anyway, That's why he didn't come with me to labor and delivery. I had to go by myself. I had not eaten really this day, so I was so hungry. I was starting to not feel good because of how hungry I was. Going to labor and delivery by myself. I'm so scared. Long story short, the baby is textbook perfect according to the monitors the entire time I'm there. Their best guess, because when they were placing the monitors, they kept picking up both of our heartbeats and like kind of getting the average of the two. And she was like, I think that's exactly what happened at your OB appointment. The OB just picked up the average of your 2 heartbeats. That's their guess, is that nothing was wrong and it was just the average of our 2 heartbeats at the OB's office, because everything was, and I quote, textbook perfect at labor and delivery. They looked at the baby looked great, fluid looked great, everything was great. And now here I am, 36 and 3 days. Things are still looking great. So that was a really scary time. However, everything ended up being just fine. On my drive home from labor and delivery, after this crazy day I've had, I start to feel a little sick, and I'm like, it's because I haven't eaten. I need to eat something. So I stop and get McDonald's, and I'm just eating the fries on the way home. But I was like, man, like, I don't feel good. Like, I really, like, something doesn't feel good. My stomach is really starting to hurt. My husband had already said that his stomach was starting to hurt a little bit. He didn't really want anything from McDonald's. I'm around the corner from our house, and I start to feel so sick. I'm like, I might throw up in our brand new car. Just am able to pull into our driveway. I swing open the door, and as I'm getting out of the car, I swing open the door and I just vomit onto the driveway. Luckily, nothing got on the car or in the car. Continued to projectile vomit all over our driveway. Luckily, it was nighttime, so I don't think anyone saw it. I called Zach. I was like, you have to come out and help me. I just threw up all over the driveway. This doesn't feel like just nausea and vomiting because of pregnancy. I think I'm sick. And stomach bug, stomach flu, norovirus, stomach stuff is going around. So I was like, uh-oh. And I'm like, Zach, I bet you're not feeling good because you have the stomach flu as well. Long story short, my mom picked up the stomach bug from a Christmas event with family and passed it to us. You're the most contagious when you're not having symptoms yet. And so my mom was not having symptoms. She came and watched my daughter while we were buying the car on the 27th. 2 days later, she's sick with a stomach bug. I get home from labor and delivery, pull into the driveway, and I'm immediately sick with the stomach bug. My husband and I spent that night getting sick, not feeling good. But to wrap this part of the story up, my daughter did not end up getting the stomach bug. Thank God. So Zach and I had it. We had an awful day that next day with just feeling sick, having to take care of Addie. It was such a hard few days. And then on Wednesday, Zach and I were starting to feel like a lot better. Like, even if you're not getting sick, your stomach just doesn't feel right. Wednesday, we were really feeling better. We were on the mend. I get sick with a cold. I also had a cold while I was buying the car. I had a cold the day after Christmas and on the 27th when we were buying the car. I started feeling better from that, and then went to labor and delivery, came home, immediately had the stomach flu, started getting better from having the stomach bug. And then on Wednesday night, I started feeling sick again, and I developed another cold. Addie got that cold from me. So yeah, it was just like back-to-back sicknesses, back-to-back hard days. That whole week was just really difficult. Within that long week, we got some really great news and some interesting news. So I know this update is already so long. We got some pretty good news about the baby. Friday, I had a growth scan. As you guys know, if you've been following along, the baby has been flip-flopping between being growth restricted and not growth restricted. If you don't know what that is, it's intrauterine growth restriction. It's when the baby's in the 9th percentile or lower, which can be a concern for if there's other things going on. It's not just like a genetic thing where, oh, this is a big baby, oh, this is a small baby. A lot of the time there's something underlying. With my firstborn, it seemed like it was really just because she was measuring small because I was small, and it tends to happen more with girls and in the first pregnancy. But some of the news we got on Friday makes me feel like maybe I don't have the full picture on that. But anyway, so I dealt with that with my older daughter, and then with this baby, at 20 weeks, she was in the 12th percentile. So that's like not growth restricted, but like not by much. So they had me come back 4 weeks later for a growth scan. So at 24 weeks, she had dipped below to the 8th percentile. When the baby does dip below the 9th percentile or lower and becomes growth restricted, you have to go weekly for appointments to check on the baby. And then every 3 to 4 weeks, you have a growth scan. So the next growth scan, she had jumped up to the 11th percentile. No longer growth restricted, but like still like almost growth restricted. So they had me come back still every week to monitor her. And then at the following growth scan, she went back down to the 9th percentile. So just growth restricted. I was coming weekly to check on her, all of that. And then at this past growth scan that I had at 34 weeks, she went back to not being growth restricted. In fact, she jumped so high up, she jumped into the 23rd percentile. She is already measuring at 34 weeks and 4 days when I had that growth scan. She was measuring 5 pounds even, which is an ounce larger than my firstborn daughter when she was born at 37 weeks and 1 day. So I can't imagine how much bigger she is now. I will find out actually next Friday. But yeah, so the baby is no longer growth restricted. In fact, so much so that they don't even have me come back for weekly appointments anymore. They scheduled one more growth scan for next Friday just to make sure things are okay, because if she somehow does dip below into the 9th or below again, which that's a pretty big jump, so they don't think it'll happen, but if it does, they will induce me at 38 or 39 weeks. But right now, it is seeming like I am not going to need to get induced. I'm most likely just going to go into labor naturally with this baby, which is amazing news because I've always wanted to go into labor naturally. But basically, since 20 weeks, I had been told that I was going to get induced at 38 weeks. So now the timeline of when I'm having this baby could potentially be so much longer, which is a good thing because I want her to come out when she's ready, but it's still a lot to process because I thought I was going to have a baby in about a week and a half. And now I could, but also might not. I might have a baby 3 weeks from now, potentially 4 weeks from now. That's amazing news. That is good news. Honestly, we need more time to prepare for this baby anyway. There's so much we still have to do. And I would like to be pregnant for as long as possible for the timing of when I would come back from maternity leave, which I can get into when I am on leave. I would really like to not come back before a certain week. And if I stay pregnant for 39 or 40 weeks, then I can get closer and closer to that ideal date of return. And also I want her to cook and come out when she's ready to come out. That being said, I'm small, I'm 4'10". This baby is not a big baby, but big for me. So I'm very uncomfortable. My symptoms have just been getting worse. The acid reflux is back, the heartburn is back, the back pain is back. I'm starting to have some cramping, which is normal, especially if this isn't your first baby, and this baby is bigger than my first baby already, probably by like a pound at least. And I still could potentially have anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks left of this pregnancy. So this is gonna be a long 2 to 4 weeks. And I'm just excited to meet her. I'm excited to have her. I feel mentally ready. Physically, we still have more nesting to do, hence part 1, 2, and 3 of these nesting videos. Some interesting news I got at the doctor. When she came in to deliver the news that that the baby was measuring in the 23rd percentile, that I didn't need to be induced, all of this, she was just kind of rambling facts of like, yeah, things look great. I mean, the baby's measuring this way. You won't need to be induced. Your blood pressure's great, da-da-da-da-da. You know, you do have the marginal cord insertion, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, whoa. Slow down, what? Marginal cord insertion? No one ever mentioned that to me. I have marginal cord insertion. And she was like, yeah, no one ever said that to you? And I was like, no. And she was like, it's in your chart. And I was like, okay, well, no one mentioned that to me. So basically she explained to me, and my OB also explained to me, that marginal cord insertion is like not uncommon. And the only risk during pregnancy for marginal cord insertion is growth restriction. And my baby was growth restricted, but we had just assumed this whole time it was because of my genetics and the fact that I had a growth restricted baby already, and that was because of my genetics, that we just figured that was why. And no one mentioned marginal cord insertion. Every doctor has said, well, you're small, you're gonna have small babies, da-da-da-da-da. But apparently marginal cord insertion, and basically what it is, if you don't know, you have the placenta, the umbilical cord attaches itself to the middle of the placenta. If you have marginal cord insertion, instead, it'll attach to the edge of the placenta, and it can lead to growth restriction. And outside of that, according to Google and my doctors, there's not other risks involved with it. But you do need to be monitored closely, which I have been monitored closely because of the growth restriction, that I'm now like, wait, is this being caused by the marginal growth restriction or my genetics? Like, oh. So now, because they didn't mention it to me until my doctor flippantly said it in my last appointment, I'm like, did I have that with my first daughter? Like, and no one told me? I don't know. And I don't know if I will ever know. So that's the piece of interesting news. When I spoke about this with my OB, he said that the only reason that it would be important for him to know is because when I deliver the baby and he's pulling the umbilical cord to get the placenta out, when he deliver the placenta, it'd be good for him to know so that he can make sure he gets all the membranes out of my uterus. And you don't want to retain any of the placenta or like membranes or anything, because that could be dangerous for the mother. I'm trying not to think about it too much. It's in my chart. I'm going to mention it to whoever my OB on call is when I have this baby. But yeah. So I have marginal cord insertion, surprise. So yeah, that's the news I got at the doctor at my 34-week growth scan appointment. So it was a very crazy week. Yeah, ever since then, we've just been hunkering down and nesting. Now we're going to jump into nesting part 1, nesting portion of this video. So the second little print, this one's just a little one to go over there, but that's for the nursery reveal. I'm gonna unbox these cute little shelves. I guess this is technically giving more away for the nursery reveal, but you won't see them put up. These are hard to get in, but this is the gist of what the shelf will look like. Very cute. Oh my god, this is heavy. The diaper pail. My very generous Aunt Roro and Uncle Davey got this diaper pail for us. This is the same diaper pail we use in Addie's room, so we know we like it. However, we did have to double baby proof that because Addie figured out the locking mechanism in this one. Might also have to baby proof this. So yeah, anyway, the refills are just like literal big poop bags essentially, and we really like them, so we just kind of keep buying them. Addie figured out that this little dial unlocks it and locks it, so she knows how to unlock and lock it. So we had to put another baby proofing thing here that she has not figured out how to open, but she knows how to close it, which is fine because if we accidentally leave it open, then she just closes it. Anyway, I don't know where this is going yet. I think it's gonna go where I have the hamper currently. You guys will see the placement of it all in the nursery reveal. I can only open one side closet because on the other side we have baby gear stacked up and the hanger's away. This is something we already had, so none of this is staying here. This is just where I've been keeping like some of the books I took from Addie's room that are too little for her, my nursing cover, some random blankets, which actually I need to move these out and clean them. And then this is one of the new ones we got, and I'm comparing the quality, and the quality of this is a lot better than this, but I'll just leave anything heavy that potentially will be in here and here, and like, yeah, I still have to go through all this. And then we'll just leave this as for like light clothes and stuff like that, which behind this is her name sign. So you guys are getting warmer and warmer. So now we can't open it from either side because I have a little baby proof lock. Pull the tab, pull it closed, and then there you go. You're able to open it. And then when you fully, there you go. Ta-da! The only thing left to do in here for the day is put together her side table. Everything else I want to wait for tomorrow / I have to do laundry for. So here are my drawer dividers. I'm not gonna bother setting this up until the clothes are washed and I'm putting the clothes away. It expands and then it's like a tension rod, and I just like how sturdy these are. This newborn onesie was my sister's, passed down to me, passed down to Addie, now passed down to this baby. This is all the newborn size that is winter appropriate for when she will be in the newborn size. All of this is cute summery tank tops and stuff like that, that she literally, there's no chance she's gonna be wearing it while she's in newborn size. So not even gonna bother washing like this type of thing, like cute straps. Addie was able to wear this because she was a late April baby, so it's shortly after she was born. She was in preemie for like a month, and then when she moved into newborn, it was already like starting to get warm out. It was like late May. So she was able to wear a lot of this newborn summery stuff that was passed down to me from my cousin's daughter. Looking at this stuff, we don't have a lot of newborn long sleeve. We have a lot of newborn short sleeve onesies. I have another bin to go through that has preemie and I think the newborn sleepers. I'm not gonna buy any new clothes until she's here, but I think we might need to just buy more winter newborn. Even though we got people buying us winter preemie and newborn for Christmas, I still think we might need more because you know how newborns are with blowouts. Swaddles I found downstairs. I kept all the short sleeve basic newborn onesies. Even though she's not gonna wear those alone, it might be good to like layer underneath other clothes just for extra warmth. Little parenting tip if you're a first time mom who's nesting, just because your baby's being born in the winter doesn't mean you don't have use for the short sleeve onesies. You can always put them on underneath for extra layers. Gone through the burp cloths, all of the preemie and these are on thin ice this morning. All of the preemie and newborn clothes to the burp cloths. Good. I was having trouble popping the things into place.
Girl, she's a shoe. Girl, shoe. Girl, it's true.
Hi, shoe girl. The idea of the bottom of this one being lined up with this and the top of this one being lined up with this. Like, it doesn't need to be exact. We're gonna put Sissy's books in here. That is it for this nesting video. I'm literally gonna be filming part 2 today, but this video is gonna be already so long and I ramble in the first half of this video as well with life updates. Big surprise. So the room is looking so good. I won't show you guys the room itself anymore. I might show me like folding clothes or whatever in that room, but as far as like the decorations and everything, it's coming along too well for me to show that to you guys. So I'm gonna leave that for the nursery transformation. And we are coming up on the end of this pregnancy, which is also wild. Yeah. And I'm ready to be done because I'm uncomfortable, but that's all. Okay, goodbye.